Hello, my name is Boheme. I'm a vocalist, a dancer, a choreographer, a yoga instructor. I do everything. There's literally nothing that I can't do. I am a force of nature. Everything on my resume checks the box of fierce, fabulous. But somehow, in the pursuit of everything that I love, I have nothing to show for it. Let me give you a little backstory, some real talk. So, most of my life and most of my career has been spent dancing full time. Yes, my 9 to 5. Did you know that was a thing? That means I'll go to yoga at 7:30 in the morning, and then at 9:30 I have to be at work and I have company class from 9:30 to 11. Usually that's a ballet class or a modern class. After that, we have a 15-minute break and then we dance until 4:30 or 5. 45-minute lunch break, maybe less if we have a lot to do. I've also spent my time singing, producing music, producing events, and and that has led me to a lot of different things, right? Like collaborating with Lois Greenfield, who is a phenomenal, legendary dance photographer. I've also helped to found the August Wilson Center Dance Ensemble in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've danced with TU Dance. I've danced for Camille A. Brown and Dancers, a New York-based company. I we got to build the case for the fierce and fabulous part, you know? So singing and producing live events all over Minneapolis, St. Paul, New York, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Paris, producing my own music. My debut EP, Swoon, is also something that you can download, but we'll get back to that. It is not our enemies that defeats us, it is our fear. Because my motto is, if you ask for everything that you want, what's the best case scenario? You'll get it. So continuing on and producing, that's been a big thing I've done across all of these cities. There's no shortage of stuff that I have done. Producing one-woman shows, that's my chance to really get weird and to dive in, you know, as you can see by some of these images. And that has been a phenomenal, phenomenal experience and an opportunity. So, real talk. Y'all ready for some more real talk? Let's really get real. That's what I do. We're going to get real. So I moved to Minneapolis 5 years ago to dance for Two Dance, and in that process, it became clear to me that I wasn't happy with full-time company life anymore, and I was ready to move on and transition to a freelance lifestyle. We'll get to that in a minute. What triggered that? How did I even know that it was time to do such a thing? There are three things: coming to a realization through my intuition and listening to it, making a choice, making a decision, and then pursuing change, or the process of change. So those three tools of evolution: realization, a new sense of awareness, intuition, making a decision, and committing to change. So let's start with intuition. What is it? I had to figure that out for myself. I had to take the time to try to define it. So we'll start with instinct. Instinct lives in your body, in your fibers. It is an evolutionary set of tools to make sure that your human body has what you need to survive and to stay healthy and make sure that everything you need is taken care of, right? Intuition, in my experience, and that's all I'm talking about here, it's a still small voice that is speaking underneath everything all the time. Always. Every situation in your life that you've come to a realization, an evolution, a change, there was something, you look back and you go, man, I knew that makes sense, because the way that person was handled, I should have known. It was there. You know, everybody calls it something different, but that's your intuition. It's something that's always speaking. And I thought to myself, if I can refine that listening earlier, where can I get if I start being guided by that deeper listening? But now let's talk about something else. Hearing and listening, they're not the same thing. You cannot choose what you hear. Did you know that? Hearing is the ability to perceive sound. You can't choose to hear a siren. You can cover your ears and try to quiet the noise, but you can't choose if you want to hear it or not. Now, listening is to give your attention to sound, to hear something with thoughtful intention. Big difference, choice. You have to choose to listen. And when you choose, there's a cognitive process applied to that, and there's more to it, right? So I decided to test that out in my process. The haze, perpetual heartbreak. So the last 3 years of my life have been the hardest. I began working on what would become my debut EP, Swoon. And honestly, that part of the story is not really different than any other musical artist. I was working with a producer. We was like in it was gonna work. We was excited, and then we were like contract time, and it was like, we not on the same page. Same story. It's really not different. It didn't work out, so I moved on. And producer after producer agreed that they would, oh yeah, man, I got this. We gonna pull it together. We're gonna do something. And I would go into the studio and give my final performance of all of these songs, all the backing vocals, and they would just disappear and flake off. And this happened to me over and over. And I wasn't quite using my 3 tools of evolution, if I'm honest. I heard stuff about the situation and the people, but I didn't listen. And I kept making a choice, but it was probably the same choice. And it didn't move towards change. And that process was emotionally debilitating. It almost felt like I was swimming in honey. It almost felt like, hey V, when we gonna hear that new project? And tears would well up in my eyes. It almost just felt like there was a fire in my chest, and hey V, when is that next event gonna be? V, when is the next project gonna be? I had to say to myself, just be here right now. A lot to focus on at once, right? But that's life, isn't it? That's life. So when your artist friends tell you that they're sad, that they're depressed, listen to them. Faux nice. Cold people just like the weather. If I'm honest with you, being an artist in Minneapolis, St. Paul has been one of the hardest experiences of my life. Pulling people together here has been a challenge, one that I've walked into with pride and intention. Maybe not as much as I thought initially. What I can say about being here and being based here is that it has given me the capacity to refine what has been missing from this story, my values. Minneapolis and St. Paul, this can be a very passive-aggressive place. Both personally and professionally. This isn't just one situation or one person. Working in this culture has been a challenge, and I'm sure that is true for many people in different places around the world, which is why I'm sharing my story. But it's helped me refine, absolute. Yeah, when people stop calling you or stop working with you, but they don't exactly tell you, and then you have to kind of speculate to figure out what happened. 3 tools. I listened and I defined for myself, this doesn't work for me. It makes me feel crazy to function this way. I made a choice to define for myself what I needed in my professional relationships and my personal relationships. And I've chosen change to now come to the table and function from those places that I've defined my value from. And that didn't come without sacrifice. Refining those tools meant me being dulled as a person in the process. And it's a hard thing for me to say out loud, but it is true. It's my truth. And so, to be global or not to be global? Y'all already knew. That wonderful process that I've learned and refined from the gift of my process here in Minneapolis, St. Paul, I learned and I realized that being all over the world is something that I have to do. It bubbles. I feel it. I don't know why, but I feel this. I know that I feel this, and I know that it's true. And I've decided to pursue. Paris, I don't know why Paris. I don't know. But you know what? I'm going to trust that, and I'm going to go. And so I went to visit. And that process has begun me on another path of change to living my whole career in a different capacity, letting Minneapolis, St. Paul be my home base, and launching myself onto the world and back with these new refined values, professional practices. What a gift. It was a big sacrifice, but it was a gift. And I'm so thankful.